The stores were sold to Bell Canada and continue to operate. In 2007, a new 20,000 square foot, which is 1,900 meters squared, store format was introduced as the City and designed to eliminate previously underutilized space. The smaller format gave the company greater flexibility to enter new markets and backfill existing ones. Most new store openings in 2008 used this new store format. On February 8, 2007, Circuit City announced that it planned to close 7 domestic superstores at a Kentucky distribution center to cut costs and improve its financial performance. News reports also mentioned that 62 stores in Canada were to close. Circuit City announced on February 23, 2007, that its chief financial officer, Michael Foss, would leave the company. This unsettled investors and analysts concerned about management turnover. This represents the third departure of a senior executive in the past 6 months, and the second departure of a top 5 executive in the past months, said Gold Sachs analyst Matthew Fassler in a client note. Chief Executive Officer Phil Schnuver's hand-picked team is turning over faster than we would like to see in a turnaround situation. In 2007, the start wage for new employees was dropped from $8.75 an hour down to $7.40 an hour, which is $6.55 being the federal minimum wage at the time. In a press release on March 28, 2007, Circuit City announced that in a wage management decision, in order to cut costs, it had laid off approximately 3,400 better paid associates and would restaff the positions at lower market-based salaries. Laid off associates were provided servants and offered a chance to be rehired after 10 weeks at a prevailing wages. In a press release on March 28, 2007, Circuit City announced that in a wage management decision, in order to cut costs, it had laid off approximately 3,400 better paid associates and would restaff the positions at the lower market-based salaries. Laid off associates were provided servants and offered a chance to be rehired after 10 weeks at prevailing wages. The Washington Post reported interviews with management concerning the firings. The Post later reported in May 2007 that the layoffs and consequent loss of experienced sales staff appeared to be backfiring and resulting in slower sales. In April 2008, video rental firm Blockbuster announced a bid worth $1 billion to purchase Circuit City. In July 2008, Blockbuster withdrew its offer to market conditions. In August 2008, the chain's head office demanded stores destroy all copies of an issue of Mad Magazine, which described Sucker City as a chain with a long list of locations in a proximity to each other and adjacent to a rival Best Buy store. Philip J. Schnuver, CEO, President, and Chairman of the Board of Circuit City Stores Incorporated, announced his immediate resignation on September 22, 2008. James A. Markham, former Vice Chairman of Board, was named acting CEO. Alan King was selected Chairman of the Board. This switch was said to be due to a stream of losses stemming from the rapid decline of flat panel TV prices and possibility due to the strong call for Schnoover's removal from activist shareholder Mark Waddle. Bankruptcy and liquidation. On November 4th, 2008, Circuit City announced that it would close 155 stores and lay off 17% of its workforce by the end of the year as a resulting of continuing difficulties in remaining profitability. On November 7th, 2008, Circuit City laid off between 500 and 800 corporate employees from its Richmond, Virginia headquarters. On November 7th, 2008, Circuit City laid off between 500 and 800 corporate employees from its Richmond, Virginia headquarters. The approximately 1,000 remaining corporate employees were consolidated into one building in an effort to further reduce costs and improve profitability. On November 10th, 2008, Circuit City filed for bankruptcy protection under Chapter 11 of the United States Bankruptcy Code in the United States Bankruptcy Court for the Eastern District of Virginia. At that time, Circuit City's stock traded well below $1 per share and was removed from listing on the New York Stock Exchange. In bankruptcy court, Circuit City was approved to borrow $1.1 billion to finance operations while restructuring. Court filings revealed that the company had assets of $3.4 billion and debt of $2.32 billion, including a $119 million debt to Hewlett-Packard, let me know if I said that wrong, and a $116 million debt to Samsung Electronics. Chief Executive James A. Markham promised that the stores would stay open and the chain would not be liquidated. On November 18th, 2008, it was announced that Richard Salinas Pliego, current owner of Mexican television broadcaster TV Azteca and electronics store chain Electra, had purchased 28% of Circuit City. On January 10th, 2009, it was announced by company spokesman that Circuit City needed a buyer by January 16th, 2009 to keep from shutting its doors due to an approaching deadline set by the court creditors. Although two unnamed parties were interested in buying out Circuit City, a bidder could not be found, so Circuit City, with bankruptcy court approval, converted its Chapter 11 bankruptcy to Chapter 7 and started airing going out of business commercials as they started closing all of their stores. The Canadian operations, which were run under the Stores by Circuit City banner, were not initially affected by the liquidation, but were later sold to Bell Canada. According to Circuit City's website, the company announced on January 16, 2009, that it intended to liquidate all of its stores. Reportedly, over 30,000 employees lost their jobs in liquidation, as well as 45% of Verizon Circuit City sales, forced being laid off, with the remainder resigning or transferring to other Verizon locations. The final day of operations for all Circuit City stores was March 8, 2009.